First off, just thanks so much for everybody being here today. Really excited to start, my staff and I's third year here. First 2 years have been great, and obviously we had a really fun 2 years. Saw a lot of great players come through here from this last senior class with Monte and Naz, Deontay, Matt, and then Merle, Darrell, and Stu as well. And then first senior class with Jamil, George, and Abdul. And the great thing is all those guys are doing really, really well for themselves right now, and proud of all those guys. And now going into this year, obviously we've got a lot of new faces. 8 new guys, 3 returning guys that played a little bit for us last year. And so, but I'm excited about the opportunity to see this team grow, see this team get better day to day, week to week, month to month, and to see how far we can go. And it's early October right now. We're 12 practices in. We scrimmaged for the first time yesterday with refs. We'll scrimmage again on Saturday, and then we'll go from there. And the biggest thing we're trying to learn right now is the concept of how to build a team, how to play the right way, spacing spots. But when you have a lot of new guys and you lose the experience that we had, you're not just teaching offense, you're not just teaching defense, you're teaching how to be a team, you're teaching how to be selfless, you're teaching how to prepare, how to interact in the community, sign autographs, kiss babies, take pictures, all that stuff. And so that's all part of the process of building a high-level team and maintaining a high-level program and the excellence that this program has come to expect year in, year out. And so I'll open up to questions, and we'll go from there.
How do you get to can you break down how you get to 80 points a game with your, what are you expecting, how you get to that, which is your average for the last few years?
I guess we're I think over the last 4 years this program has averaged, I think, 81.8 maybe, and that's the highest in the Power 6 leagues the last 4 years we've averaged. Obviously that's the style we want to play. It's the style I've played for the time that I've been a head coach, of really trying to push tempo, push the pace. I can't break down numbers right now from a standpoint of how many Donovan's going to get, Nick's going to get. But that has to be our goal. And if it's not to 80, if it's to 75, then we got to make sure that we're doing some other things better than we did last year defensively. Obviously the 2 biggest stats you look at last year's team is our ability to shoot the 3 and our assist-to-turnover ratio. The biggest weakness was rebounding. We're winning games with a -10, -11, -12 rebounding margin. That's not the norm. And so if we can shore up some of the rebounding on the defensive end, or even on the offensive end for second chance opportunities, getting to the free throw line more, some things that wasn't a strength of ours in the past, then that can hopefully offset some points and manufacture some points for us. 80's the goal. It'll always be the goal. I think 80 last year in our league, I think we were maybe still 4th in scoring at 81 or 82 points a game. And so obviously the league there's a lot of good defense in the league, not to take that away, but obviously there's a lot of very, very talented and skilled offensive teams. And so that's our goal. If it doesn't get to 80, like I said, if it gets to 75, then you've got to shore up those other areas.
You mentioned in your opening statement the level of success people have come to expect from Iowa State, specifically over the last 6 years. Given the roster turnover and not only the numbers but who you're replacing, where should people set expectations for this team?
If I sat here and said that our expectations aren't to be in the NCAA tournament, then I'm probably doing a disservice to those kids in that locker room. Our goal right now is not March. Our goal right now is not April. Our goal right now is not February. Our goal right now, we scrimmaged yesterday, we're off today, is to meet with my staff, watch the scrimmage with them in the morning after we've all broke it down, get back out here on the floor, get better tomorrow, build up for Saturday scrimmage, and continue to get better week to week, day to day, month to month with this team, and to see how far we can go. If I think we have pieces from our perimeter play, when you look at Donovan and Nick and Lindell and Zoran, and Jacoby's done some good things. and then you throw Terrence Lewis, a freshman. I think we have some pieces on the perimeter that can do some really good things. I talked to Nick and Donovan. When I took over at Murray, my starting backcourt the year before averaged 3 points and 4 points. And then I had one other guard, Cannon. But the other two, the 2 and the 3, they averaged 3 and 4 points. That team, everybody knows what that team did. And so this is their opportunity to step into a bigger role. And so we don't know what they're going to do yet. And I'm excited. I think they have the ability to do really good things. And so I don't want to put expectations on them. But if that's not our goal, then I'm cheating them. And so that's our goal. And hopefully we can continue to work and meet that goal at the end of the year.
What have you seen from Lindell so far, and what's your expectation for him this season?
Well, I thought yesterday in the scrimmage, I thought he got back to being himself. I think it's hard as a freshman, especially the toughest position to play on the floor is point guard, especially coming in as a freshman. And so first off, as a coach, you want to put him in positions to be successful, whether that's on the ball at times, off the ball. But yesterday, in the first 12 minutes of the scrimmage, I thought he got back to being himself from a standpoint of making really good decisions, being very aggressive in pick and roll, making shots, getting to the free throw line. And so, again, it's day to day to get better with Lindell, of watching tape, of me showing him you can't make this decision, and this is why, and we got to make more of these decisions, and this is why you got to keep doing this. I expect him to be a very, very good defender. I think he's strong physically on the perimeter to be able to defend. Offensively, to put pressure on the defense. Be good in pick and roll, be good in space, paint touches, get to the free throw line. But as well as thinking score, get people involved and make sure that assist-to-turnover ratio is good.
How much is Donovan's adversity that he's faced, the broken wrist before he gets here, biding his time behind great leaders, how does that, I guess, augment his leadership qualities that you guys are obviously going to need this season?
Yeah, the biggest thing, Donovan obviously coming in last year, I think the best thing that happened to him, obviously he came in, he had the injury, he kind of got a late start, thought about redshirting. I thought it would, if he didn't redshirt, I thought it would hurt that team just because of the depth and what we needed from him. And then also I thought it would hurt because he wouldn't have the experience to help lead this team this year. And so from that standpoint, we need Donovan to be, like I told him before, just to be the best Donovan Jackson, not to be Monte, not to be, another point guard that's been here. You could say Naslong, DeAndre Kane, whoever you want to say. Just be Donovan and max out your strengths. The best thing Donovan does, without a doubt, he's as good of a shooter as there is in college basketball. So we've got to make sure we're getting him really good shots, whether that's keep putting him off the ball at times, whether that's putting him in ball screen situations at times, getting him out in transition. One of the best things he does is attack the defense in transition for pull-up threes and pull-up jump shots. But putting him in good positions to do his number one strength. The one thing we got to continue with him, because he is a competitive guy. That's what makes him good, is to continue to lead in the right way. And understand that you got to stay even keel at that point guard, lead guard, senior guard position.
We know what Donovan did beyond the arc last year, but who helps replace guys like Naz and Matt from beyond the arc, and who needs to maybe step up to fill that void?
Well, I think it's a different team. I think our perimeter is different. I think their strengths are different. I think Naz and Matt, the best thing they did was shoot the basketball. Though I thought Naz really improved of putting pressure on the defense, getting paint touches, finishing at the rim. When you look at Zoran, he's got great size and can get into the paint and mid-range and finish. Nick Babb can put pressure on the defense. Lindell can put the pressure on the defense. Donovan is an elite shooter. The other guys, we all have confidence they can make shots, whether that's 1 for 3, 2 for 5. I'm not sure until the ball goes up for real. They're all capable of making them, but they are. The strengths of these perimeter guys are different than the strengths of the guys in the past. We need to be at a great pace. We need to be looking to get penetration, sink the defense, and then make the next pass to get better shots or to drive the next closeout so we can get to the free throw line more. Because we do have good size on the perimeter when you look at Nick, when you look at Zoran, Jacoby's got good size. Terrence Lewis can really shoot. Now, that's one guy that can really shoot at a high level. And so, but these guys all have great confidence to shoot, to where if they're open, we got to make shots. And so whether you can make 344 threes or whatever we did last year, second most in school history, I don't know if we can do that. We've got to manufacture points a different way this year, and I think we understand that.
Steve, adding back here in the camera row, adding some size to this lineup, how does that change your offense maybe from the last year?
Well, I think the great thing, I think the last 2 days we got Hans out here practicing 5-on-5 in the half court, and he brings a different feel to our team. He's, you know, where we have so much youth or newness, he brings a lot of experience and comes from a program that's won a ton of games and won championships and played in postseason play. And so on both ends of the floor, he brings a lot of experience and toughness. And so that's been really good for us to get him out there and get a look at him. But, you know, Cameron Lard, I think, you know, we haven't had a rim protector. I don't think we had a rim protector last year for the most part. I think Cameron Lard's done a good job of defensive rebounding, of protecting the rim. And then Solomon, obviously, we kind of know what he brings to the table already, you know, with his grit and his toughness. Are we going to be a team just throw it in and isolate guys in the post? You know, I don't know that yet, but I do think with those two guys especially, you know, they bring size and toughness up front.
Steve, over here. I guess with Cameron Lard being here last year and having that redshirt season, I guess how great was that experience for him to kind of see what it was like being on the team but not actually playing? Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you know, the thing about Cameron is, you know, he was, I almost say like he was kind of a vagabond for a year and a half before he got here, trying to get his academics in order, trying to finish up high school. He got here in January, and we're full scale going, so you can't slow down for him. And so he was really just trying to get his academics in order here, get adjusted to college life. And so we really didn't get invested in Cameron really to this summer. But I think he's made great strides. This summer, this fall, he's been really good. The biggest thing with freshmen, just like any of them, is the learning curve and the ability day to day to go hard, run the floor hard, sprint the ball screen hard, roll on every ball screen, crash the glass every time, you know, whatever that may be. But he's making great strides. He just was in my office 15 minutes ago. He's in with Coach Small right now watching tape, just of understanding the level of preparation you got to have here. But I'm really excited. I think he's got a chance to really do some good things once he gets up to speed and learns all the nuances, that you have to know at this level.
To piggyback on the three-point shooting question, is spacing right now a concern for you guys, or will you have to manage spacing differently if you don't have the 344 threes or whatever it was?
Yeah, but I don't know who's going to have them 344 threes. You know, I mean, that's second most in school history, and so you can't judge this perimeter shooting to second best in school history. You know, that's not fair. Our spacing is going to be our spacing, whether it's, you know, those spacing spots will never change. The good thing about this team is there's a couple that you got to guard from three, and there's a couple guys that if it's a bad closeout, they can really, really drive you. The biggest thing that we have to stress, and we've been stressing, is the ball can't stick. The ball has to move, so we're not letting the defense just plug and get set. As long as that ball's moving and we're driving and moving and making the extra pass, we'll get people in rotation, we'll get paint touches, and then we'll free up for open shots. Then you got to make them. But if you look at Donovan, if Lindell's open from three, he's going to knock that down. Terrence Lewis, Jacoby shot the ball. He's 2 for 3 yesterday from three. He shot the ball, you know, really well. And then Nick Babb, he's 1 for 2 from three yesterday. And so we may not take as many, but I've had guys before in the past that your number just may not be as much, but are you shooting, you know, 1 for 2? Those add up, you know, rather than are you going 3 for 8?
All those guys you mentioned are new guys or haven't played much. I mean, how much of it is just a work in progress for you guys?
Yeah, I think it's all a work in progress, and that's the toughest thing as a coach. You know, you want everything to be perfect and look pretty, and and everybody go, man, that's some good stuff. Boy, they look beautiful out there. That's not going to be the case 12 days in with these guys right now. We're trying to evaluate our guys, see the best thing for this team to be successful. And as these young guys, you know, as Lindell becomes more comfortable, as Terrence becomes more comfortable, as Nick Babb becomes more comfortable in his role, you know, those guys are going to be more confident. You know, the biggest thing that you got to do with guys is just give them confidence. You know, I've had guys shoot 29%, you know, and then the next year shoot 40. It's like Abdul Nader shot 21% from three his junior year, right? Everybody said he can't shoot, right? He's in the NBA with the Celtics now. He shot almost 40 as a senior. And so why that is, I don't know. The biggest thing, you just got to get in the gym. You got to keep working, and keep working. And so if you got one kid there go from 21 to 37, and I've seen another kid go from 29 to 38 or 39, then it's just about repetition and confidence.
It's not like your non-conference schedule, especially the front end of it is loaded with East Cupcake states. What can you get out of playing such a tough non-conference schedule? Like I said, especially early with a ton of newcomers.
I think you find out right away. I think everybody gets you get a dose of reality right away to where win or lose, all right, what do we have to do to get better this week? What do we have to add? What do we need to take away? You know, we're going to Missouri. I've been to Missouri one time before. Really, really tough place to play. Great atmosphere. Obviously, they've got a ton of hype, and they've got a terrific coach in Coach Martin. But that's kind of exciting, you know, to go in there on opening night. You know, you want to play great teams at this level. That's why you're at this level, you know, to go to Missouri, you know, in the non-conference, to host Iowa, to host Tennessee, to go to an ESPN tournament, or to Maui the following year for things like that, for those opportunities. And so, you know, the thing that we have to do, this team, because of the youth, is every game's important. You know, every game's Missouri. You know, you have to have that kind of approach. You can't take anybody for granted. You have to respect everybody, and you have to prepare the right way for everyone. But I think it's good. I think the tournament in Puerto Rico will be good, because that's a good field. You know, Boise State's really good. South Carolina's good. You know, Tulsa's good. UTEP. And I may be missing. And obviously we play Appalachian State to open up. But so we're excited about that. I'm excited about it.
You mentioned Nick and his new role. What do you hope that role to be, and how's he done with coming along and fitting into that?
I think he's done well. I think he was, you know, if you took just statistically and feel and understanding, you know, from yesterday's scrimmage, he'd be one of the standout guys you would highlight. He just has a really good understanding of how to play and what we're trying to do. I still trying to push his buttons to be a little bit more aggressive offensively. You know, he likes to distribute and facilitate, but he's got a really good pace and feel and flow to his game. I've been really pleased with him. The biggest thing and the challenge, like I talked to him earlier today when he was by the office, is you got to do it every day, and we've got to be a more talkative and vocal team. And he knows it's not going to be perfect every day, and the days it's not perfect, we got to rectify that right away, or we got to be ready to come back the next day and be better. But he's been really good. I've been really pleased with him.
By some metrics or projections, Zoran's regarded as one of the better transfers in college basketball this year. Who is Zoran Talley, I guess, and I mean in terms of for people who haven't seen him play, and what do you guys need out of him? Yeah,
you know, I texted him last night. And I said, here's what you asked the question. Here's what we need from you. I need you to be in attack mode offensively, and defensively and offensive, I need you to rebound the basketball for us. Zoran's a guy, comes from Old Dominion. Got a lot of respect for that program. That, I think, sixth man of the year, I think he was last year, you know, in a good league. The best thing he does, he can really run. He can put pressure on the defense in transition. He grew really, really good, 15, 17 feet, getting in the paint, driving guys, driving bad closeouts, putting them in our baseline runner action that we ran a lot last year for Naz and Matt and Monte, in driving and getting. Now he scores different out of there. You know, Matt and Naz scored from three off that. Monte scored a little bit of three and mid-range. Zoran is looking to curl and get to the paint and floaters and mid-range. Really, really athletic wing that will play at the 3, and we'll play, if we go small, we'll play at the 4 and put him in play small ball with him at the 4. But I think he's a very, very talented player. And that's why, you can go down. I can give you 7, 8 guys right now I feel really good about. It's just can you get him to be selfless? Can you get him to play the right way? Can you get in here and make sure you're getting a repetition shooting-wise so we feel comfortable from 3, and can you get the concepts down? And as that builds and grows, then this team, I think, is going to become a good basketball team.
Steve, we've heard, a couple of times you compare this team to that 3rd year at Murray. There's a difference between being like the man and one of the guys. Is it natural when that many guys graduate from a program like you lost from last year for those guys to kind of rise, or is that like a specific unique to different individuals?
I think it's probably a case by case, but I think the great programs, the next guys, this is their opportunity. This is what they've been waiting on. When they were frustrated last year about not playing, because you're playing behind 3 really good senior guards, this is their opportunity now to step up and not necessarily make a name for himself, but this is their opportunity to, to do something special. And they are. It's really similar. I went from 3 seniors to 6 seniors. Here I went from 3 seniors to 6 seniors, all really talented pros, good players, won a lot of games. And then you're reteaching everything right now. But you do have a couple pieces in place that are back, Donovan, Nick, Solomon, that understand it. And now you've got to see them take the next step for us to max out. They have to take the next step. But I think ability-wise and character-wise, they've got that in them to do that. And that's the biggest thing. And it's not going to be perfect every day, but I'm pleased with where they're at right now.
To go back to Tally, can you kind of explain his recruitment? Obviously, it was a little atypical with him getting dismissed from ODU and then being a late summer transfer.
I was actually talking to Jeff Jones one night. I was trying to get Deontay in the NABC All-Star game, and he said, "Hey, man, I got a guy that's leaving our program. You need to recruit him. He'd be really good for you. If he can shore up some things offensively, he has a chance to really be a special player one day." And so we kind of, jumped on him right away. And nobody kind of knew it was coming outside of a select few. And so we kind of got a little head start in there and got him down to campus before it kind of broke that he was going to be leaving, and just really built a good relationship with him and his family. And he trusted us. And I'm really glad he's here because I think he's got a chance to do some good things, especially we got him for 2 years as well.
That would suggest he didn't have an issue with how it ended for him at ODU.
No, because you go back and obviously, is he perfect? Did he make all the perfect decisions there? Probably not, or he wouldn't have been dismissed from there. But when you do your research and you call academics, when you call coach, when you call administrator, when you call and they say, "Man, that kid's a good kid," then you'll take a chance on that. And I've told him that. I said, if I didn't research that and get that back, I wouldn't have taken a chance on you. And he's lived up to that billing since he's been here.
In what ways will Lindell be different than Monte? Because that's a natural comparison that fans will make.
Yeah, I think they're different. Obviously, point guards and coming in as freshmen, ready to play. Their games are a little different. I mean, they're probably very different. I mean, you look at Monte's body probably as a freshman. I just met him as a junior. Lindell is a physical guard, physical guard. Needs to continue to learn and grow from understanding again the pick and roll, how to play pick and roll, the best read. Not picking up your dribble, just the little things. I think the biggest thing that they have in common is both obviously highly recruited point guards that are coming in at freshmen. And Monte didn't start playing really till mid-year, his freshman year, from everything that I had talked about and found out about with him. And so Lindell and Monte, I don't even want to kind of compare those guys, to be honest. I just want Lindell to be I just want Lindell, like I said with all our guys, I just want him to max out Lindell Wigginton. And if he does that, he can do some really good things, but their strengths are different. You know, Monte's special, you know, and I've got to obviously I love him to death. Lindell is his game's going to be a little different, you know, especially as a freshman. You know, he's going to really try to put pressure on that paint, put pressure on that paint, put pressure on that paint. He probably will go to free throw line, you know, more just because of the physicality. But he's going to have to grow. He's going to have to slowly grow into the role of changing paces, not turning it over, you know, and so he's going to be a good player for us. We're excited about him, and he's been great. But as a point guard, as a freshman, like I said, you're going to go through some ups and downs. And we got to know that and expect that and let him play through mistakes. But comparing those, I don't think it's good for anybody. I mean, Monte's all-time wins leader, all-time steals, all-time assists. I mean, you can go on, you can make a whole sheet, you know. Right now with Lindell, let's have a good week of practice.
We saw flashes of what Solomon can do offensively as a freshman. What's it take for him, or going to take for him to be a bigger offensive threat as a sophomore?
Well, I think two things is you got to continue to get in his gym more and really work with his back to the basket game. You know, he really feels more comfortable when he catches it in the post to face up and then make a play. If he's going to pick and pop from three just to continue to get reps, I think he made 2 threes yesterday in our scrimmage, but to continue to get those reps needed to where we all feel really confident in that. But he's got more freedom, obviously, offensively than he did last year, because we're going to need some more points from him. And so I just think it's more about giving him confidence and then him putting the time in the gym outside of these 3 to 5:30 to make sure he's ready for that. But Solomon is, you know, he's rock solid, you know, in every area. You know what you're going to get from every single day. And as much as we want that offensive load to increase, we can't let him lose sight of what makes him great. And that's the grit, and that's the toughness, and that's just the on-the-floor leadership about the way he plays and competes.